Hello guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be predicting a 2024 presidential matchup between Joe Biden, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump. Donald Trump losing the Republican nomination to Ron DeSantis and starting his own party. We don't really know what the name is. I said A for America First, but it could also be Patriot Party or something completely new. We don't know. This is a lot less likely than Biden versus DeSantis or Biden versus Trump, but it is still a possibility. And it would be really bad for Republicans. Biden would win in a complete landslide because if there are two conservative candidates, then given the winner-take-all system we have right now, Biden would have a much easier chance of winning the plurality of votes in a lot of competitive or even not competitive normally states. And that's what we're going to see. So let's get this prediction going with Biden's safe states. So states over 15%. Washington, Oregon, California, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, Maine's first, Illinois. These are all pretty... Oh, and Hawaii. I always forget about Hawaii and D.C. These are all pretty normal safe states, but we're going to add a few that aren't really normally safe. Colorado, New Mexico, Virginia, Maine at large, even states like New Hampshire, Maine second, which isn't a state, but you know what I'm saying, Minnesota, or even, because of the sheer vote splitting, states like Pennsylvania and Michigan, because states in the Rust Belt are states where Trump has above average popularity than your other random state. So he will be able to pull more votes from those states and give them to Biden by a much larger margin, which is why I have Michigan and Pennsylvania as safe states. Now, I don't think DeSantis would have any safe states, and Trump would only have one, the state of West Virginia. It is heavily supportive of Donald Trump. It went to him by 40%. So I think it would go to Trump by over 15. And DeSantis would come in second. So you'll notice the conservative candidates don't have many safe states because their votes will just be split so much that they'll be fighting against one another for all of these normally Republican states. So now to Biden's likely states. He's only 10 away from victory, and he's about to get them with the state of Arizona, as well as Nevada, Wisconsin, Maine second, because it supports Trump more than your average Republican candidate, and it supports independents generally, as well as Georgia and North Carolina. These are all states where I think Trump would be able to pull enough of votes away from DeSantis where Biden could win them by over 5%. So yeah, likely states are between 5 and 15%. For DeSantis' likely states, Idaho, North Dakota, Nebraska's third, Nebraska at large, Wyoming. That's about it, I think. Yeah. And then for Trump's likely states, Kentucky and Arkansas. These are two states that are heavily supportive of Trump, just like West Virginia. For DeSantis' likely states, these are rural states, which tend to, which support DeSantis and which I think would vote for DeSantis, but they're likely not because Biden would be within 15% of winning them, but because Trump would be in second place and within 15% of taking them. Actually, I'm going to remove Nebraska at large. So yeah, that puts Biden at 320, already 50 electoral votes over victory. DeSantis at 11, and Trump at 18. Except, there's one more likely state, the state of Texas. I think it would go to Biden by a likely margin, barely over 5, a 10-point shift to the left from 2020, simply because Trump is quite popular in the state of Texas. In a primary between him and DeSantis, he would be pretty close to winning it. So I think he would be able to pull enough votes from DeSantis to where we could see Biden winning Texas. That puts him at 360 electoral votes. And now we're on to our lean states, our states between 1 and 5%. DeSantis, I think he would get South Dakota by a lean margin. It basically votes the same way as North Dakota, but slightly further to the left. Trump would still be in second here, but I think DeSantis would only win it by about 4 points. Utah, I think Biden would probably come in second here. So DeSantis would do very well in Utah. Trump wouldn't do well at all because Utah is a very moderate state. But Trump would still probably be able to pull around 6-7% of the vote in the state of Utah, which is why I think it would only be lean for DeSantis, but still around the 4-point margin. Oklahoma, it would be closely fought between Trump and DeSantis, but I think DeSantis would be able to pull it out by a lean margin. Nebraska at large, I think, would go to DeSantis by a lean margin, simply because Nebraska's second would go to Biden by a safe margin, and we're going to see what happens with Nebraska's first, but it being close enough as it is, I think I think Nebraska at large would only go to DeSantis by about a lean margin. Next, state of Louisiana, I think it would go to DeSantis by a lean margin. Biden would be pretty close to coming second, but I still think Trump would come second. Same with Alabama and Tennessee. I think Trump would be able to pull enough votes from these states where DeSantis would still win them, but he would only win them by a lean margin, Trump still being in second. And now for Trump's lean states, there are none. Yeah, Trump would have 0 lean states. And now for Biden's lean states. Ohio, Trump has a lot of support in the state of Ohio, so I think Biden would be able to pull a lot of support from it. Actually, I'm going to move it to the likely margin, barely about 5%, because I think Trump would be able to pull a lot of votes away from DeSantis simply just because Trump is quite popular in the state of Ohio. It went to him by 8 points in both 2016 and 2020. Montana, I think, would go to Biden by a lean margin. He's going to be helped by John Tester, who's probably going to be running for the Senate, which is going to drive out some Democrats to go out and vote, and they'll probably also, some of them, vote for Biden, which could help him a little bit, but also, again, mainly just Trump pulling a lot of votes from DeSantis. Kansas, it's shifting to the left quite slowly, but I think Biden would be able to win it by a lean margin, 1 to 2 points, maybe 1 point. Again, just because Trump is pulling so many votes away. It was likely in 2020, and I think any likely state in 2020 is going to go to Biden in a matchup like this. Iowa, it only went to Trump by 8 points in 2020, and he is quite popular in Iowa, so he would be able to pull a lot of votes from DeSantis. I sound like a broken record, but this is what would happen nationwide. Trump pulling votes from DeSantis, which would give Biden a victory in the state of Iowa. Florida, DeSantis would come in second here, but it is still, even though it's shifting to the right, it is still a close enough state to where I could see Biden winning it. Nebraska's first. It was likely in 2020. Like I said, any likely state, Trump is going to be able to pull enough votes to where it would go to Biden. South Carolina, it's shifting to the left slowly, but I think that would be accelerated here because Trump would be able to pull, again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but Trump would pull votes from every single state in the country, making them either a Biden victory when they normally wouldn't be, or a much closer DeSantis or Trump victory. Alaska, it only went to Trump by about, I believe, 10 points in 2020, so I think it would go to Biden simply by Trump being able to, again, pull votes from DeSantis, which would give Biden a margin of victory of about, again, 1 to 2%. And now we're on to our 3 tilt states, Mississippi, Indiana, and Missouri. And I am going to give Biden all 3. All 3 were pretty close to 15% in 2020. Trump is quite popular in the state of Missouri, so I think he would be able to pull a sizable amount of votes, which would barely give Biden the victory. Indiana, it was pretty close to 15 in 2020, even with Mike Pence being the vice president for Trump. So I think with Trump pulling, I know I keep saying pull, and I know you're probably tired of me saying it, but I kind of have to, because this is what would happen with Trump stealing, I guess. I'm just trying to come up with a different set of vocabulary. With Trump stealing, I guess, votes from DeSantis in Indiana, it would go to Biden. And then finally Mississippi, it only went to Biden, or Biden only got about 40% of the vote in 2020, but that would be enough to give him the victory in 2024 in a three-way match like this, where two of the candidates are strictly conservative. And that's my map. I think Biden would be at 463 electoral votes, a massive landslide, 100 more than Obama in 2008, and I believe about 100 more than Bill Clinton in both of his election campaigns in 1992 and 1996. This is pretty close to what LBJ got in 1964, maybe even passing him, I don't know. But it is probably the biggest Democratic landslide in an election since 1964, simply because Trump would take so much support from DeSantis to where the election would go to Biden by a blowout margin. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for not uploading in like 17 days or 18. My apologies. I was on winter break and on vacation, but I am back. Thank you so much for the support on my channel. I never thought that I would see the level of support that I am getting right now. Like, seriously. My most recent video has 1,500 views. My mind is completely blown. Thank you guys so much. It's insane. I can't thank you enough. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, you can subscribe if you want. I'm not trying to pressure you, but you can. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.